all comfy. Hi everybody. How are you guys? Getting all situated. I kind of forgot how to do this. It's been such a long time. I hope you guys are, the way I position my phone with the stand, it never looks straight. I don't know, there's probably something I could do with my little camera stand that I have to make it be straight, but I just will never figure it out. Or maybe one day when I'm in my 80s, I'll figure it out. And I tried to not pre-record, I tried to record this video earlier, and there was a weird buzzing noise that came over my voice, kind of slightly in the background. So that might just be something weird going on with my phone right now. Maybe that's something permanent. Maybe that just means I have to get a new phone at some point in the upcoming weeks or months. I have no idea. So if there's a weird kind of buzzing sound, I apologize. But hopefully you'll be so distracted by my words in this video you won't even notice. But hopefully it won't be too bad, or maybe it's, it was just something my phone was doing and acting up a little while ago, but maybe now it'll die down and not be there anymore. Because Mama doesn't have the money for a new phone right now, so hopefully it's not my microphone slowly dying out on me due to water damage, because this phone has definitely had its damage. I have a 4-year-old, I have a 7-year-old. Things happen with the phone, with water, so we'll see. And I know water really damages cell phones, so we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad, or hopefully it's kind of standable and not too bad. So anyway, that was my little spiel before introductions. Hi everyone. I just thought I would do like a disclaimer, because I can't put anything on the bottom of this video. So, I mean, I guess I could, I just have no idea how to do that. So I thought I would just give a little disclaimer as to why there might be a little weird buzzing or humming in the background. So we'll see. We'll see. I really hope it's not too bad. I don't know. I really hope it's not too bad. And I really hope I don't have to, stop recording this video again and record all over again. So hopefully this is it. This will be good. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But hi everybody. How are you guys? It's been a really long time since I've last uploaded and filmed a video. I think at least 2 months, if not more. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And I feel like that happens sometimes, where months can go by before you are able to sit down and upload film and upload a video again, which has happened in this case. So, but if you're here watching and hanging out with me today, or in the evening, depending upon when you're watching this and where you are in the world, I am so happy to have you here. So happy. It means so much to me. My name is Lauren. My YouTube channel name is Mickey Disney Loving Mama, and I'm just so happy to have you here. If you are a new viewer, it would mean the world to me to have you like the video and subscribe and leave me comments. Tell me anything you want to talk about things that we've talked about in this video, anything you want to share about, anything about yourself, about Disney, Harry Potter, because we also love Harry Potter on this channel, lifestyle, motherhood, anything at all. I would love so much to read that and to share that with you guys. And if you have not done so already, if you have a YouTube channel, please leave me that information below as well in the comments. I would love so much to follow you guys and be part of your journey. And if you wanted to share your Instagram name as well, I would love so much to follow you guys on Instagram. And please follow me on Instagram as well, Mickey Disney Loving Mama. Again, it's not gonna, I don't know why I just did that because it's not gonna come up like that. But it's magic, right? But follow me on Instagram. It would mean so much to me to have you guys follow me over there as well. Always feel free to message me if you want to say hi, if you want to just talk. And get to know me, because I would definitely love to get to know you and for us to become friends. I post pictures of my boys, pictures of our past Disney trips, little videos here and there about just motherhood and lifestyle, kind of anything that I want to share and express with you guys. So it's kind of a whole kind of A to Z page on Instagram. So it's for everything, for anything. So and if you are a returning subscriber and you're here again, back at it again with this crazy lady right here, it means so much to me to have you come back again and be part of this incredible journey and video that I'm posting. It's been a really long time, and I'm so happy to be back here again. And I'm so happy to have you back here again with me. And I really hope that you keep on coming back every time I post new videos. And I really hope you guys keep on coming back, because it just means so much to me to read your comments, to know that you're part of this incredible journey, and for us to become friends. It just means so much to me. So yeah. In this video, if you can't tell by the title, it's going to be talking about mental health, life update, channel updates, where I've been these last few months, where I've been basically these last 2 years, because that kind of also ebbs into everything, where I want my channel to go, and we're going to be talking about bullying. We're going to be talking about motherhood. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my stillbirth that I had back in February, and kind of anything else. I kind of everything and anything else. This is going to be kind of a whole video of just a lot of everything and anything. And I will probably cry in this video. If you guys have watched my other videos, or even one of my other previous videos, you know that I like to keep it really raw and honest, and I want to be open with you guys, and completely unedited, and I have a tendency of crying in my videos because I just get so overwhelmed with whatever I'm doing, rather if it's sharing a feeling or a story or an experience, or even doing an unboxing, and I just get so overwhelmed because I just can't believe I am so lucky and blessed to be opening and having such beautiful, figurines or art pieces or bags or anything else somebody might send to me, rather if it's through a box swap or through a mystery box subscription box company that I signed up for, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe I get to have this like in my own home. Like, this is just completely crazy and insane. Oh my lord. So yeah, I do a lot of crying on this channel. But that's me. Super emotional, super sensitive, and that's me. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I should kind of talk about before jumping in, and I don't think so. And if I kind of forgot anything to mention, I'll just kind of pop it in there in the video if it pops into this brain. But I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I should be mentioning, oh, just I don't want to kind of make this disclaimer going on in my videos from now on, but I feel like I just want to say it at least once. Please, please, please leave me comments that are supportive and kind and positive and just nice and respectful. Don't leave any comments that are mean or negative or unsupportive or just rude and obnoxious. If you do, I will delete those comments because that's just not what I want this channel to be about. That's not what I want to be about. So, and it makes me sad that I would even have to say that. But unfortunately, I have had comments and instances of bullying and rude comments made out to me that really upset me and made me quite emotional. And I even did a little Instagram story about that, I think a month ago or a couple of weeks ago on my Instagram page. And just is very upsetting. So I just feel like I'm gonna say it once in this video and that's it. I always leave a little thing on the bottom of my YouTube, videos, to please leave comments that are respectful and positive, and any mean comments will be just deleted. I just won't put up with that. It's just totally unacceptable and not right and just mean. I just don't believe in that. So, yeah. And, and I feel like if people actually leave something publicly that is mean to me, then I'm gonna call you out on it, and I'm gonna, mention your name and say this is not right. That's not nice, and that really is hurtful. So, yeah, and it's just not acceptable in my books, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that just in general in terms of just being really kind to one another and being supportive and really being there for one another. And that's one of the things I really wanted to talk about in this video as well. So yeah, but I hope everyone is great. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I hope everybody is just in a good place. And if you're not, I'm here for you. I'm sending love and hugs to you guys. And please know that if you ever truly want to reach out to me and just say hi and just have a friend to talk to, I am here for you guys always, 1000%. So message me on Instagram, leave me comments, or email me if you want to do something a little more private. I'm always here for you guys, always, always, always. Just from one mama, woman, person to another. So yes. I just want to get you guys a little bit more. I think we're good. I think we're okay. I don't know. You guys let me know in the videos if like that noise is still going on or if you're like slanted. I don't know. If you guys don't know, I shoot my videos on my phone. I don't have a video. I don't have a camera. I don't have a fancy like ring light or anything like that. It's just my phone and my little phone stand. I hope to change that maybe next year. Fingers crossed. I would also love to get a laptop and maybe kind of do a little more, get a little fancier maybe, and taking like how to record videos, like what's that book? Like how to cook like an idiot, or I forgot the names of the books where they do like cooking like an idiot or recording like an idiot or something like that. I don't know, like just a very basic how-to guide. So I might do that for next year. But for right now, it's just you gotta work with what you got, right? That's just that's just something you gotta learn. You gotta work with what you got. So phone stand, natural lights, and actual like lights from the room, from the house. So that's all I got. But yeah, I guess we'll just get into what I've been up to these last few months. And why I haven't been posting, anything really regularly on Instagram, and why I haven't been posting videos, and why I've been taking this break, and just where I've been. So things have just been really crazy and insane. And we've had a lot of family stuff going on. And I'm not going to get into anything regarding like my family or extended family or friends or anything like that. I just out of respect to those members, I don't talk about. But anything just regarding me specifically, that I talk about 1000%. But if it's somebody else's journey or situation in my family or friends, that I don't talk about. And I hope you guys can respect that, and just be okay with that. But we've just had a lot of stuff going on with family members, close friends these last few months, this last year, and I have really been on, I guess, a mental health path and journey these last few weeks, these last few months, this last year and a half, my whole life basically. And losing. If you guys don't know, if you're new to my channel, I lost my baby very unexpectedly at 30 weeks. We were planning to be a family of 5. I already have 2 boys. They are 4 and 7 years old, and we were happily and hopefully planning on having our 3rd baby in April. But we lost him very unexpectedly and suddenly due to umbilical cord issues in the beginning of February. And dealing with that grief and that pain and that loss has been very hard, very hard. And it's not something that goes away in a few weeks or even a few months. I have actually become a part of a few. Facebook has everything, guys. If you wanted to ever be part of any kind of support group, not in person, but just online, and just know of other people who are going through what you're going through, I would recommend Facebook if you wanted something a little more anonymous and not something so in person like a real therapy group or anything like that, but just to know and to read and to connect with other people who are going through what you're going through. Facebook is a great place for that. So I've signed up to be a part of some really great stillbirth and infant loss groups on Facebook. And I've been talking to women who have lost their babies, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the pain and the grief doesn't ever go away. Not ever. See, I'm already beginning to cry. Doesn't ever go away. But I think it's just like any loss. You learn, as more time goes by, you just learn how to live with it. You just learn how to live with it in a better, manageable way. And you just learn to kind of put one foot in front of the other and push on and go on and live your life and be happy and have those wonderful, loving, fantastic, joyful, happy moments for yourself, for your own family. But the pain and loss never goes away. You just learn how to live with it in a you just learn to live with it in a more manageable way, I guess, or more in a healthy way, is what I've been kind of told, and what I'm gathering, just hearing other stories and accounts from women who have lost their babies very tragically while they were pregnant, or when they were delivering. So I think that's what happens. I've never had a loss like this. I've thankfully, thank God, and I praise God for this. My parents are still alive. My sister's still here. I have an older sister. So I've never had a real loss like this before. I've lost people, but not like this. Not a child. Not like this. Not to this extent or limit or amount. Not ever. And I never thought it would happen. So just dealing with that grief and pain has been really taking a hit on me. And, there have been many days where I'll just after dropping off my kids at school or at day camp during the summer, where I just want to, cry and cry and cry for the whole rest of the day, because I just won't be able to believe and think that he's not here, and that I don't have my son with me, and that he just isn't here. And that pain just really truly affects you physically and makes you feel like you just can't even breathe, and it hurts to breathe. So I've had a lot of moments and days like that. And, seeing your 30-week-old baby being put into the ground is an image and a memory that you will never forget, and that will forever be burned into your memory forever. And holding your dead child, holding your dead 30-week-old baby in your arms, and kissing him and touching him and holding him, it's not something you ever forget. That pain. So just going through that and navigating through that, in addition to also, at the same time as doing that, also being there for my two other boys, Ryder and Chance, and having days and moments where I am happy for them, and we are happy, and we're going out, and we're living life, and we're having joyful times, and laughing, and having beautiful, adventurous moments and times, and I'm giving him everything, and we're just living in the moment and just having the best time. And also being a wife, and also being a homemaker, and being just a stay-at-home mom. It's just been a lot, and it's really been a lot. It's really been a lot, and I'm just trying to navigate through that and work my way through that in a way that's healthy, and in a way that gives myself time and peace, if that makes any sense. Because I'm the type of person who always wants to be happy. If I could never experience pain and never have anything bad happen to me or my children or my family, and never cry again or never scream again and be angry or be in a situation where I'm on the floor just hysterically crying or being disappointed or being just betrayed or anything like that. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. And same for my children. I know being upset and being in pain and being angry is part of life. I totally get that, and I'm aware of that. But I just want them to be happy. I want them to be healthy. And, you know, when they're upset, when they're angry, when they're going through something difficult, I think I've said this before, but I feel like motherhood is the most codependent relationship in the world, or at least it is for me, because when they're happy, I'm on cloud nine. I feel it. I'm in the best mood. When things are good for them, I'm in heaven. Like, this is just amazing. And when they're down, when my 4-year-old is having a tantrum because he can't be understood due to his speech delay, or my 7-year-old is getting bullied because of his, you know, because he is a little bit more of an introvert, I feel it, and it just destroys me. And I think that's also been really hard for me, just kind of, I'm gonna use the word navigate. I feel like I'm gonna be using that word a lot throughout this video because I don't know any other way to describe it. Just kind of working your way through that, and just going through that. So when I have a lot going on, or even one big thing going on, rather if that's with, you know, family or myself or my boys, I really throw myself into that 100%. I'm not very good at multitasking. You know, it's not like I can go through something and deal with like 20 other things. I'm not really good at that, and that could be, I think that's just the way I am. And you know, when I have something really big going on, or I really want to focus on something, I really want to give that situation or person or whatever that might be my 100% attention, and I really want to be in that 1,000%. And you know, these last few months, between losing Evers, that's his name, and just going through the grief and the pain and the loss, and also being there for my 2 other boys and just taking care of the house. That's all I've been really wanting to do and put my mind to, and really focus on, and to really attend to. And at times I've felt kind of guilty that I wasn't being here more with YouTube, because I really do love making these videos so much, and sharing my thoughts and connecting with you guys so much. But then I kind of do a quick kind of bump on the head with my hand and be like, you know, Lauren, you need to give yourself time to go through this. It hasn't even been a full year, and you need to be there for your kids, and you need to really take care of this, and you just need to, you need to take care of you and just, you know, go through this mental journey that you're going through, which is another thing I'm about to get into right now. And just give yourself the time. Give yourself the time. And that's what I have to remind myself. I literally, like, every day, I'll stand in the mirror and I'll be like, you can do this. You can do this. You've got this. You can do it. You will do this. You can do it. You can do it. And that really helps. So, and I just wanted to quickly talk about something too. I told you I feel like I should do another disclaimer. I'm going to be jumping around a lot in this video from kind of point A to point B to point E to point Z to point A again. And I apologize, that's just the way my mind works. But I did also want to kind of mention something that I've been feeling really, really, really bad about. And I just wanted to apologize to my subscribers and to people who have left me comments, who I haven't gotten back to. And I just feel horrible about that. And I give my deepest apologies for that. And just please know that anytime you leave me comments, I read them and they mean so much to me. And I know I have said in my previous videos that if you leave me a comment, I will get back to you. And I haven't been very good, unfortunately, with getting back to comments because it's just been very overwhelming here. And I really haven't been giving YouTube as much as attention and time on my daily agenda and weekly agenda as much as I really thought I would, and as much as I really want to. But I just don't have the bandwidth and the mental space to, be grieving and to be a mom and to take care of the house and to run errands and to do YouTube and to do all of that. Not really until now, just mentally. And I think that's just something that that I'm just learning, and that I will get, kind of better at managing. Just with in life. And I really am so sorry about that. But please know that whenever you leave me any kind of comment, I read them and they mean so much to me. They really, really do. And I'm really, really, really gonna try to get a lot better at typing back comments or just privately messaging you on Facebook, not on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm really working my way up to that, but just know that if you leave me comments, I do read them and they mean so much to me. They really, really do. So I just really wanted to touch on that, and also say that I know in so many of my previous videos, I have said so many times, unboxings are coming and box swaps are coming, and I'm going to share my Disney collections with you guys, and all of this is coming, and it really hasn't. And that also really upsets me and really makes me very angry at myself for being the type of person that is saying yeah, this is coming, I'm making promises, I'm being bold, I'm saying this is coming 1,000%, watch out, in a couple of weeks, it's coming, and I don't deliver. I make promises and say things, and it ends up just not happening, or it hasn't happened yet. And I really hate that, because I don't want to be the person who makes promises and doesn't deliver, or says things and doesn't actually do it. And I feel horrible about that, because I really, really, really hate that. And I don't want you guys to feel like you can't trust in me, or you feel like that I just don't care. That could not be farthest from the truth. I care so much, and you guys can trust me. And I love YouTube, and I love being here with you guys, and I love you guys so much, so much. I know that when I have said that, it's because I was in a headspace where I wasn't really mentally able or really wanting to commit to posting more videos on a normal weekly basis. But I said it in the hopes that it would really like amp me up and motivate me and really push me to be like, okay, like you're saying it, so that means that you got to do it. Like, we're ready. You're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna hype you up. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. You know. And even though I wasn't 1,000% feeling it and really ready to be more regular here on YouTube with videos and making more videos and putting them out, I felt like if I said it out loud, it would take me to the next step to actually literally get ready and wanting to do it. But you guys know, talking about it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to literally do it. So here I am saying, yeah, in a couple of weeks I'm going to post more videos. Unboxings are coming. Like, watch out, stay subscribed. It's going to be awesome. And when it actually came time to sit down and do an unboxing or do more life updates or mental health videos, I don't know why I'm going like this, like a crazy person. I just wasn't in the headspace to do it. I just wasn't ready yet. Like, for me to sit down like I am right now to be doing this kind of all over the place updates, it's taken months to get here, to really talk about it and to have the time mentally and physically, and to kind of make time out of my day to do this, because it's crazy. My life is insane. It's crazy, guys. And I know you guys also feel the same. It is just crazy to make any kind of time for yourself. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. It is crazy. And I wanted to do this video justice. And it's going to be probably an hour-and-a-half video, just to give you guys a heads up. It's going to be a long video, so get comfortable, because I see I'm like 36 minutes in and I haven't even begun to really get into everything just yet. So get comfortable. Yeah, I just, when it actually came down to really sitting down and filming an unboxing, I just wasn't there mentally in the headspace, or in the mind space to do it, or I just really didn't have the time. As much as I tried to think I could organize my days to make the time, I just couldn't. And I felt horrible about that, because again, I don't want to be the type of person that, you know, is saying stuff and doesn't actually do it, and carry out those actions. But that's what was happening. But I just wanted to explain why and really apologize for that, and to let you guys know that it's not because I didn't care. It's not because I was trying to lie to you or be deceitful to you or anything like that. I just really thought that if I said it, it would be kind of that extra push to get myself kind of over the hump, over the hill, the however you want to put it, but you guys know what I mean. And to really kind of go forward and to push on. But when it actually, literally, when I did have a day where I could have maybe a half hour, 2 hours free, or, you know, the following week when I could maybe schedule my days, I just couldn't, or I just wasn't really wanting to yet. Because to make any kind of video, whether if it's a life update, mental health, or even something, you know, as wonderful and happy as doing an unboxing, at least in my mind, you have to be wanting to and in the right headspace, and to, you know, and it takes a lot to be in front of the camera or in front of the phone in my case, and to talk. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So I just wasn't there yet. But now I think it's really funny, but it's something quite simple, but it's truly true. Time is kind of its own therapy in and of itself. You know, how you feel one day might be totally different than how you feel, you know, physically and mentally, even the next day, you know, a week later, a month later. And now I'm shooting this in October, and I can say I'm definitely in a different mind space and mental journey than how I was even yesterday. And it's truly, it's funny how how time works, right? It's very interesting, how you can be one moment and then literally the next day or a week later or a month later you're in such a different kind of perspective, or even just self-realization about yourself, your own life. It's very interesting. And I know another huge thing that has made me be in a healthier mental journey is realizing that I really do need to get back into therapy. I will say this right now, 1,000%, and you may feel differently, and I totally support that and respect that. But for me personally, I believe in therapy. I think therapy works wonders. I've been in therapy before for anxiety. My husband and I have been in marriage counseling before. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I think it really helps. And, a couple of weeks ago, talking about my anxiety, which is something I do suffer from, motherhood struggles, just life struggles. I just wasn't really ready to get into that place and to really talk about it. And I think people who have been in therapy before know what I mean when you say that you're just not ready to really talk to somebody in that way just yet. You have to be ready and wanting to. And I just haven't been able to and wanting to. But now I definitely really want to. I know it's going to help me. I know I'm going to be better for it. I'm going to be in a healthier state of mind, just mentally and physically. My anxiety and, this grief has also really affected my sleep, which, if you don't sleep well, just mentally and physically, that it just becomes a whole cycle of just insanity if you don't sleep well, because that also just affects your hormones, how you are the next day, your emotions, how you feel, how you sleep, stress, anxiety. It just becomes this whole wishy-washy of just right? If you don't sleep well, just this vicious cycle. And I know that, so just going back to therapy, I know now, months and months after going through so much mentally with just grieving and just struggling, just the hardships and self-doubts about not being a good mom and not giving your children everything they really need and want in life, and being there for them and the way that they need, and just constantly doubting myself and just anxiety and just thinking I'm not a good enough wife and mother and so on, and just everything can really hit you. It can really hit you and mess you up. And for somebody like me who doesn't deal with hardships and obstacles or any kind of pain or discomfort or really anything negative well at all, it just doubles, it just triples, it just quadruples, it just gets worse and worse and worse. But now, in October now, I would say even end of September, I'm really seeing that I need to get back into therapy. Again, I've been in therapy before for many, many years, even starting as young as I think in middle school, I started to go to therapy for or maybe high school. Was it middle school, high school? I can't even remember, it's been so long, but I definitely am a firm believer in therapy. And I know it's going to really help having somebody to talk to on a normal routine basis. So I know that's another huge reason why I am able to finally sit down and make this video, just having more self-realizations and just through time itself kind of being my own therapy. and just giving myself the time and the grace and the space to go through things as I need to, and not, you know, give so much time here where my mind needed to be elsewhere. So, yeah. And I will say that I hope to also sign up to be part of support groups for women who have gone through stillbirths. I think I'm ready for that too. I think the hospital that I had, Evers, which was also the same hospital where I had my 4-year-old, the best day of my life and the worst day of my life. I think hospitals do, I have to reach out to the social worker who really helped us through that time in February. I have her number still. I think she said that there are support groups where you can actually meet with women like in person physically, and I think that would also be something that could really help me, as well as, you know, just continuing to be part of these incredible Facebook groups too with these women and with these parents, because it really does help to talk. It really, really does help to talk. And I have to, somebody who is an introvert, who has such a hard time with anxiety, it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about pain. It's not easy to talk about struggles. It's not easy to talk about your hardships. It's not easy to talk about your fears, about what, you know, what you're so self-conscious about, why you aren't confident, why you don't feel strong or brave, or that you can't handle things or do things, or why you aren't good at things, why you feel like you can't be good at things. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And it's one thing to kind of make these videos and talk about it, but then to actually literally, you know, meet with other people in person, meet with a therapist, meet with a, you know, a support group, and really get into even more nitty gritty. It's hard. It's really, really hard. But for me, I know it has to be done. I know, and I want to do it. It's not even, at this point, it's not a matter of knowing that I need to do it. I want to do it. It comes from a desire, it comes from a passion. And I think that's the difference of where I am now versus months ago where I felt like, oh, I need to do this. And for me, I feel like that's not always necessarily the best motivational way to get something done. It's not a matter of needing it. I mean, in some circumstances, yes. You know, when it comes to like health or seeing the doctor, like anything, obviously if you need to do something, you need to do it. But in other cases, I feel like you should do something not because you need to do it, but because you want to do it. In some instances, again, obviously some things you need to do it, even if you don't want to do it, and that you just have to get it done, obviously. But in other instances and situations, I feel like sometimes you can't do something if you don't want to do it, but you need to do it. You can only do something if you want to do it, if that makes any sense. And if not, then don't worry about it. That's the first time I've totally confused people. I should win like a gold Olympic for confusing people. I feel like I confuse people so much. I confuse myself. I'm always like, what are you doing? What are you doing every day? I feel like this whole video was like, oh my God, most confusing YouTube video ever. I'll win a YouTube award for this. But yeah. And also, I feel like something I've talked about but really haven't explained up until now is that I suffer from anxiety. I get very anxious. I get very scared. I always think that crap is gonna happen. I'm always so scared that, you know, my life could be miserable, that my children's life is gonna be miserable. I always worry about something bad happening to them, something bad happening to me where I wouldn't be there for them. I just worry a lot, and it's very debilitating at times. It's really debilitating, and it's really scary and horrible to have such fear and worry, and I hate it. And I've had that for many, many, many years. Again, just going back to why I've been in therapy before. And what really triggers it are situations. you know, if everything is wonderful and fine and great, I'm not gonna be so anxious and nervous, and I'll be able to really have a wonderful and amazing time, and laugh and just have just the best time. But if I go through something that's really hard and emotional and just horrendous, I could be a mess. I could really have a hard time with that. And I think losing Evers at 30 weeks has really triggered my anxiety so bad, because here I am, you know, for while I was pregnant, doing everything that my doctors told me to do, and all the tests were coming back negative and normal. You know, yes, I had the hematoma. If you've watched my stillbirth story, I talked about that, or any pregnancy updates, I talked about that. But the doctors said that I could go on to deliver a perfectly healthy baby with no problems. And I saw my high risk OB, I saw my regular OB. All of the test results came back negative and normal, within range. Nothing ever came back too high or too low, or with, you know, red flags, like nothing. And they were always closely monitoring the hematoma. It ever got larger. As we got closer to 30 weeks, they began to get way more confident and really think like, okay, like, because there are so many women who do deliver perfectly healthy babies, and the mom is fine, the baby's fine, and everything is fine. So they were like, this could definitely happen to you. Like, yes, there is a small chance you could miscarry, and that's what they told me at 12 weeks when they first discovered the hematoma. But they also said it could be absolutely totally fine, and you shouldn't let this control your pregnancy, these worries and these fears. Just keep on being pregnant, basically, and keep on enjoying your pregnancy. And obviously I did not do that. I was a complete worried mess. Oh my God, the whole pregnancy, and it was not good, and it really affected me, my mood, my sleep, how I ate. It was horrible. Like, my anxiety is worse because of the hematoma, and also because of pregnancy, and also because I am who I am. So it was like 4 times the anxiety monster inside of me, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But yeah, just losing him so unexpectedly, because he had his umbilical cord, not even like fully knotted, but just kind of, it was a very small like knot, or even like crimp, I guess you could put it. And it, like, that's how we lost him. You know, when you go through something like that, it really can instill this fear that bad stuff can happen, because guess what? It does happen. You know, a lot of times you always get so worried and say, oh my goodness, this could happen. What if this happens? What if that happens? And then your friend or family member will just say, you know, take you into their arms and give you a big hug and say, don't worry, that's not going to happen. It can happen. Well, guess what? It can happen. It absolutely can happen. It can happen, because it happened to me, and I know that it does happen to so many other women, and that crap does happen, and that pain does happen, and that all of this misery can happen. So why can't it happen again? Why can't it happen to me again? Why can't something horrible and tragic hit my boys, you know, and so on and so on and so on, because it does happen. Like, don't tell me that it can't happen, because it can happen. It does happen all the time in this world. And that's my thought process. And it just snowballs into like, you know, the future and what's happening in the past, and this happened in the past, so why can't it happen again? And it's happening right now in the present, so this is how it's always going to be forever. I mean, these are like my anxiety thoughts, and this is why I need to see a therapist, you guys. I'm totally serious. It's bad. It gets really bad. It gets bad. And I know it'll just be so helpful to have a therapist. And I will say too, I'm going to just say it right now. And again, don't come at me in the comments if you feel like this will be totally insane and you're totally against this, because I support that if you aren't for this. but I hope you support me and don't leave me rude comments when I'm about to say. But I've been on anxiety medication before too. So if I need to be put back on anxiety medication permanently or just temporarily or whatever they think is best, I will totally be open to that as well. And if that's the case, I'll give you guys an update on that too, if that were to happen. But yeah, dealing with constant worry and fear and anxiety that something could happen, always just walking around eggshells and just being so scared that something could happen, because it can happen and it does happen. It's hard. It's really, really, really hard to always think that, you're what is the saying? It's, you're waiting for the other shoe to fall off, I think is the saying, or something like that. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's really difficult. And that's also what has just been going on in this mind of mine for weeks and months and years and basically my whole life. But again, I think what really triggers it and what makes it even worse is when I go through, really hardships. And I've never had a situation like this, losing my son at 30 weeks. I never had anything like this on this level. And, I'll also say too, I think another why I've just been so not very overly active on Instagram and social media and YouTube and, just where I've been these last few months. And that's another thing I wanted to kind of do a life update on, is that my son Chance, if you don't know, he does have a severe speech delay. He's not autistic. He's already been evaluated for autism. I feel like a lot of people think that if you have a speech delay, you're autistic, which is absolutely not true. It can happen where you are autistic and you do have a speech delay, but there are children who are autistic that don't have speech delays, and there are children who have speech delays who are not autistic. So it really depends on the case and the child. So he does have a severe speech delay, but he is not autistic, and he does have minor gross motor and fine motor delays as well. He does go to a full-day therapeutic preschool program in our town, in our district, which is incredible. He also receives therapy every day. And last year he also got therapy a few times during the month outside of school as well. And it's really been wonderful, and we're so blessed to have a program like that in our district, and it's been wonderful. I love the therapists. The teachers are incredible and amazing, and I'm so thankful. But I will say that one of the things that we really have a hard time with, and I kind of talked about this briefly a little while ago, is that he has extreme tantrums. And he gets very upset when he can't be understood. Now, I will also say that my son does have a communication device that took about a year. It takes I don't know, I guess it depends on the district and your situation personally, but for us it took about 10 months to get, I guess, approval from like the board or the Board of Education or special needs program, because there was a lot of paperwork and a lot of red tape that you have to go through. So it did take quite a few months, but he does have a communication tablet that he does use, but he's still so young. He's only 4 years old. So he's not always confident or comfortable using it, both at home and in school. He knows he's different. He knows he has a speech delay. He knows he's not understood. He knows he's different from other children. He knows that he's not verbal. And he feels that embarrassment, and he gets very self-conscious and embarrassed by it, and he knows it. He knows it. And that's what breaks my heart. And he is such a bright little boy because his mind is okay. He has so much going on in his brain. He's able to understand so much. And he has so much thoughts and ideas and feelings, things that he wants to share and express and talk about with you, with us, with everybody in his head, but he just can't say it. Now, I will say that he does say a few words. He does say mommy and daddy. He does say a few words. But he does have a severe speech delay. And every day, he has at least one, if not more, huge tantrums because he's constantly, it's not like his brain gets shut off. It's not like his brain gets dimmed at any moment. Not ever. His brain is always being stimulated like my brain, like your brain. He always wants to talk. He always wants to communicate. He always wants to share and express and say what's on his mind, always, just like any other person would, any other typical person or child would, who wants to talk, who wants to be verbal, always. So he's always wanting to talk, even though he knows he has a speech delay. So it just becomes this vicious cycle because he always tries to talk, but he just can't. He can't, his brain and his mouth just don't connect. And I will also say that we are going for an evaluation in the next couple of months. We're going to get 2 speech pathologist evaluations, one by the school and another one by a private speech pathologist. We do think he does have speech apraxia, and we're kind of going off the theories and the guesses at this point. That's something that he does probably have. But we wanted to wait until he was a little bit older. We wanted to wait because that's what our doctor recommended. And again, each doctor is different. Each child is different. Each situation is different. But that's what our doctor and therapist recommended, that we wait until he's closer to 4 years old before we really get a good, detailed evaluation for that. But that's what we're kind of thinking he probably has. And he's also going to be retested for hearing because he's not deaf. He feels perfectly. He hears totally fine. But a lot of times for children who do have speech delays, they just recommend getting their hearing tested at least once or twice, or maybe even annually, because I guess for whatever reason, I don't really know why, but if you have a speech delay, the hearing could be kind of possibly be parallel to that, or be impacted, or I don't really understand quite the specifics. So we're going to be doing that as well this year. But going back, so he's always wanting to try to talk. And even with his communication device that he's not always wanting to use, because I think he's very self-conscious or just not comfortable, because he is still so little. He's only 4 years old. He's not like he's 10 or 16. He really has a hard time, and he really has huge tantrums because he gets frustrated at himself. He gets frustrated at us. He gets frustrated at the world that this is happening to him, and he can't talk, and he can't be understood, because I have to say, I totally agree with him. I totally agree with him. And not being understood, and not being heard, and not having somebody being able to comprehend what you're saying and feeling is one of the worst feelings in the world. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. And you feel so broken and damaged from that, and it's just such a horrible, crushing feeling, and you get so mad. His tantrums, it's anger, because he gets just so mad, like, why can't you understand me? And I can see that, and I can feel it, and it just, like, going back to what I said about motherhood being, I think, one of the most codependent relationships, or at least for me, because God almighty, parents, right? If your child is upset or angry, it is just gut-wrenching. And if they are happy, it is just the best feeling in the world. And when my child is down, there's no way I can be happy. I will say that that's another thing too that's been going on these last few months. He's been having a really hard time on days when he comes home, because he's just so tired and he wants to talk and he can't. And when he's down, when he's not happy, I'm feeling that 1,000% too, right along with him. So, yeah. So dealing with that has gotten worse, because as he's getting older, I think, he's getting more, his brain is developing more, he's getting smarter, he's wanting to share more, he's getting more thoughts and ideas in his head, he's wanting to just talk more as he's getting older, which developmentally makes sense to me. His brain is developing. And he's just wanting to talk more, but he can't as he's getting older. So his tantrums are getting worse, and it can happen at any moment because he always wants to talk. It's not like his brain shuts off or dims. It's always going. And it's just heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching, and it's horrible, and I feel like a horrible failure. I feel like I'm failing him as a mother. I feel not being able to help your child. I feel like being so helpless, and just having your child look at you with those eyes, just basically pleading with you. You can see in his eyes, he's pleading with you to help him, to help me. Like, so many times he'll try to say something and I can't understand him because it'll just be babbling, and he'll because he can say, "Help me, mama." So he'll say, "Help me, mama, help me, mama," like in the way he says it. It's like and that just so many times I'll just want to go into another room and just start crying hysterically because it's just horrible. It's horrible to not be able to help my baby. It's just horrible. And if any speech mamas, if anyone is watching this video and you have a speech delayed child, then, let's connect, like, message me, please, because we got to be in this together. It's just horrible to have this and for your child to go through this. And I think as the days and weeks and months go on, it's just getting harder and harder to have this. And I just can only hope and feel and pray that as he gets older, he'll get more confident in using his communication device, where he'll use it more. And he'll also, hopefully, with the help of therapy, he'll learn how to read and write, and he can actually type out what he wants to say. And I also hope and pray that just in the years upcoming, with him being in school and speech therapy, he will also he'll become more verbal, hopefully. I don't know to what extent or limit that will be. In another couple of years, it could be only a few words. It might be 100 more words. I have no idea. Nobody knows. Nobody can guess that. There's no doctor in the world. But that's my hope too. And I will say that he's also learning a little bit of sign language too. Sometimes he uses his own signs, which are very kind of common sense. Like when he wants to sit, he'll be like, sit. So he'll kind of come up with his own signs too, and he's beginning to do that too, which is also very helpful. And then other times he'll actually be signing stuff that we won't understand, so that's also very complicated, difficult. But I just hope that through time he'll get more confident using the tablet. He'll learn how to actually type out words and read and write. His speech will hopefully evolve and develop more, and also sign language. And so I hope that through that, and with also the other huge thing is that he's also, I just have to remind myself too, because a lot of times I feel like we forget just how old our children are and where that means developmentally. He is only 4. So when he gets frustrated, when he gets upset, he's feeling that on a 4-year-old level. And for me, I don't know how other 4-year-olds are, but even when Ryder, my 7-year-old, was 4 years old, even now, still as a 7-year-old, they still have a really hard, even now as an adult, I still have this problem. We have a really hard time managing and navigating through our emotions and kind of controlling that in a way where we're not screaming and crying and being like, ah! When he gets mad, he gets so mad, and he doesn't know how to developmentally kind of calm that and control it and manage it in a way where he can kind of take a deep breath, don't explode, don't have a tantrum every time somebody can't understand you, and every time something doesn't work out the way you want it to and the way it should. Take a deep breath. He doesn't have that coping skill or that managing skill yet. So I also hope that with him getting older and through the help of therapy and just him just in time, again, time is kind of its own therapeutic skill as well, and setting and tool, he'll also get better at that too, where he won't have so many explosion tantrums as well, where he'll be able to kind of self-soothe and self-control and self-manage better when he's not being understood, and kind of be help, being better at that as well. So obviously any updates with that, I will keep you guys updated as well. I'm gonna just kind of shoot over to here quickly. I wanna just make sure that I don't miss my child getting off the bus. What time is it? Sorry guys, hold on. Okay, we're good. Just wanted to make sure. Sorry guys. Whoop, I'm here. Told you it was gonna be a long video, but there's a lot of updates. So yeah, so that's what's going on with him. Like I don't know his progress. Nobody knows. So I'm constantly worrying and thinking, how is life gonna be when he's in high school? When he's, like, if you can't talk, or if you have a limited set of words, or if you're walking around with a communication device, what kind of life can you have? Because as a mother, for somebody who loves him so much with my whole heart, I want him to have a good life. I want him to have a happy life. I want him to know love and to be loved and to have friends and to be happy, and for him to smile and laugh so much and to have that beautiful, amazing, joyful life. And I just don't want him to have a life where he doesn't have any friends because he can't talk, or he just constantly has tantrums because he gets so angry and not being understood. I worry about him. Like, is he gonna ever find somebody that will love him? Like the levels that my mind goes to is truly, out there. I won't deny that. These are the things that keep me up at night. Like, will my son, what kind of job will he be able to have? Because I really want my boys to have lives where they're doing what they want to do and they're happy. And I want to support that and nurture that and help them achieve that, whatever it might be. And for Chance, with the huge speech delay, depending on his progress and where he ends up with his, communication and his language skills, I just don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And that's such a worry for me, and such a... I would move mountains to have my children be happy, no matter what that is. If he, if they want to, like, whatever that means, construction workers, teachers, lawyer, like, I don't care. I just want them to be happy and to not have so much time in their days filled with pain and anger and disappointment and betrayal and not being loved and not having friends. I just want them to be happy and to be surrounded by people who care for them and love them. And I just worry about that so much. I worry about that so much. I worry about that. I worry about that so much. It really keeps me up at night. It really does. It leads me to moments where I'm just crying and crying because I'm so scared for them. Like, I just don't know. Like, maybe this is how he's talking now. He might never learn more, like, new words. Maybe that's just where it ends with him in terms of his language progress. I just get so scared for him and so worried for him because he is such a smart boy. And he works so hard. I talk to his teachers and his therapist every day. He works so hard. This little boy who's like not even this tall. He works so hard and he pushes himself so much each day. Oh, and I just get so worried for him because I just want more than anything. I want my boys to be happy and to have a life where they're happy and to be having a life where they're doing what they want to do in life. And it just goes back to my anxiety. I just get so anxious for them and so scared for them. And, you know, even if they didn't have speech delays, I think that definitely makes it worse for me, and my fear for them and my worry for them. But I think even if they didn't have delays, even if my 7-year-old didn't have mild autism, you know, I think I would still be so scared and anxious for them. I don't think that would change anyway. Or I know it wouldn't, I should say. I know it wouldn't. Because he does. He works so hard. I talk to his teachers every day. I just don't want him to, I don't want him to be picked on. Like, we go to playgrounds and he tries to play with other kids and he can't talk to them. And we've had situations where we've gone to public places like the playground, and he'll be trying to play with kids his own age or even younger or older, and he's been picked on. You know, like children will be like, you know, like, you're weird, why can't you talk? I've had kids say that to Chance on the playground. You're weird, why can't you talk? And I know they're just kids, so I know it's different. But still, like, for anybody to say that to your children. And he just looks at me with such pain and embarrassment because he knows. And I don't know how to respond to him. Like, how do I make him feel better? How do I comfort him? Because unfortunately, that's not going to be the first time or the last time somebody's going to say something like that to him. It's not. Because kids, I will say, I'm sorry, come at me in the comments. Because this time you will come at me in the comments, but kids can be really cruel. People can be really cruel. Adults can be really cruel. Oh my goodness. If you are different or strange or weird in any shape or form, or if you're doing something that they don't agree with, there are people out there who are going to be rude and disrespectful and negative and try to bash you into the ground for that. And it's just horrible and really messed up. It is messed up. It is messed up. So when I have moments like that where my child is having comments like that thrown to him on the playground, it is, oh my God, it just hits me. It just hits me. And my 7-year-old, I wanted to just talk about bullying, because that's something that I've really been struggling with and having in my life a lot recently with my children, with my kids, and also with me. I had somebody come at me during my stillbirth video that I uploaded a couple of months ago, and somebody came at me in the comments saying, why do you repeat yourself? And, you know, who wants to talk to this lady who keeps on repeating herself and saying the same old stuff, and you have ADD and you have a learning disability, which, yeah, I do. But why are you saying, like, it just was, like, just so disrespectful and horrible the way she said it. And it was just horrible. I don't even remember if it was a lady or a man who said that to me. And I deleted the comment. It was just horrible. And I've had people, like, and I've seen comments too where, you know, people will be like, well, why are you still upset about losing your baby at 30 weeks? He wasn't even born yet. Like, he wasn't even your child. He was just a fetus. He wasn't even your child yet. Like, why are you mourning and having such a hard time grieving your 30-week-old baby? He was 30 weeks. He was nothing. He wasn't even born. You didn't even have a life with him. You didn't even have memories with him. You didn't even have anything with him. Why are you so upset? It's been like 6 months, 7 months. Why are you still in pain? I've seen comments like that. And I wish to dear God I could say, I'm making this up, I wish to dear God I could say that this doesn't exist and that these comments are not being thrown around and said, but I see them. But my 7-year-old, who does have mild autism, he is very high functioning. He's in mainstream. He is in a typical mainstream 2nd grade classroom, and we're so proud of him. He's made such tremendous progress. But he does have mild autism, and he does also have mild fine motor and gross motor skills as well. So he does have an IEP. He does receive occupational therapy. He did receive physical therapy, but he just graduated, I guess you could say, and his physical therapist said that he no longer needed PT anymore, which was amazing because he has made so much progress and we're so proud of him for that. But he does still receive speech therapy twice a week. He gets pulled out for that, and also occupational therapy. He gets pulled out for that. And he also is in resource room for reading and writing and math. He'll probably have that for the rest of his life, because I think he'll always need that support, especially when it comes to resource room and reading and writing and testing and so on. And he is very, very, very sensitive. He is a very emotional child. He's more introverted. He doesn't really like sports, which, that's a big thing when you're a 7-year-old child. It's a big thing to be athletic and to be good at sports and to like to play sports. And he would much rather, he loves any kind of imagination games or any kind of, he loves science. He loves anything to do with make-believe, pretending he's a wizard or pretending he's, building something or making something, or pretending he's a troll living under a bridge, or pretending he's, a dragon somewhere. He just loves pretending in any kind of science fiction games like that or anything like that. That's his favorite. He loves doing that. He does love swimming, I will say. The one, sport that he does love is swimming. But he loves dance. He loves music. He loves singing. He does love gymnastics. He had gymnastics last year during summer camp. He loves that. Any kind of tumbling or parlay, or what is parkour, I think is the word, parkour. He takes rock climbing on the weekends, so that he loves. But in terms of doing soccer or softball or soccer or baseball or anything like that, he doesn't like it. And I know a lot of kids his own age in his school, and just generally, just talking to other moms, that's what a lot of kids do and like. So that's a huge problem, or something where he can't really connect with other kids. And, a lot of times, instead of just running around and being very physical and doing stuff on the playground and playing tag, he would much rather pretend he's, playing Pokemon or something like that because he loves Pokemon, or pretend he's, on this imaginal quest somewhere. And he'll, try to have kids play that game during recess, and they'll look at him like he's really weird and, say hurtful comments to him and be like, no, that's weird. You're the weird kid. We don't want to play games like that with you. So he's had comments made to him and had situations like that. And fortunately, we live in a really tremendous district, and the teachers are always 1,000% on it and deal with it amazingly. And, I feel very safe and comfortable him being in the school that he's in. And, you can't control all the bullying. You can't control all the comments, because kids are kids and they have no filter. And, they don't have compassion. They don't have sympathy. They don't have understanding that kids are different and that words can hurt. They don't understand that, even at 7 years old, unfortunately. And it just breaks my heart where Ryder will sometimes come home from school or from day camp being like, this kid said this to me. And it's life, unfortunately. And I feel like as parents, we have the unfortunate job of teaching our children that life is like this. And it just sucks, because I feel like I would much rather, I wish I could kind of have them always have, you know, a Disney World life all the time, just full of magic and wonder and joy and happiness all the time, where they wouldn't even know the word mean or bullying ever. I wish that didn't exist, and that everybody would always get along and play together, and everything would always be, you know, cupcakes and sprinkles and candy all the time. So we've been dealing a little bit with that, and it's just horrible, and I hate it, but that's life. I'm gonna just see the time again. I just want to make sure I give you guys, hold on guys, I apologize. It's just getting to that time where my son is getting off the school bus soon, so I just want to make sure we're good. So yeah. But it's just, I feel like bullying and just being mean is just something that is just happening so much. And I just hate it, and I just wish it would stop, and especially to children. Like, come on. Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, stop. Stop. And it just makes me so angry and just makes me want to scream. And, you know, like my 7-year-old, his interest can be a little different than a lot of kids his own age, so he does have a hard time making friends. And, you know, and that's just another huge worry of mine, because he's not really into sports. He's not the most athletic. He's not the most coordinated. He, you know, would much rather do like cooking or singing or like music. He loves theater. He loves science. And I just hope and want him to meet friends that are really wonderful and kind and care for him and love him for who he is, and have similar interests and who want to do things like he does. So, yeah. And I also wanted to tell a story about my 4-year-old. And again, don't come at me in the comments. My husband and I have a very specific way with how we parent, and I know each person each parents differently, and we have to support that and respect that and back off, basically, and just respect that, because he's our child and we want to parent the way we're going to parent. And I think every parent should have that boundary and that respect and that support, and just leave that. So my 4-year-old does suck his thumb when he's tired, for self-soothing, when he's being overstimulated, or when he's kind of scared or anxious. And when he's tired, he sucks his thumb. And he has ever since he was a little baby. Never into pacifiers, always sucking his thumb. And in about a year, when he's closer to 5 years old, then we'll kind of try to, you know, scale it back and have him kind of slowly stop. But for right now, we feel very comfortable. We're fine with it. We support it. We don't try to take it away. We don't try to stop him. Nothing like that. And he goes to a full-day school. And when I drop him off in the mornings because I like dropping him off. I like seeing the teachers. I like, you know, kissing him and hugging him. And I like having that time with him in the morning to drop him off. But in the afternoons, just so he has a little more independence and he has a little more kind of school experience, he goes on a bus, a small bus, not a big bus, because there are other kids as well in his group, in his class, that do that as well on the afternoons. And he also just loves anything to do with transportation. He loves trains, buses, boats, airplanes, like he loves it all. So him going on a bus is like the coolest thing ever. And I remember the first day of school last year when he went on the bus for like the first week, I was like, oh my God, I was such a nervous wreck. I thought he would be crying. I thought he would be screaming. I thought he would hate it. I was like, oh my God, my baby, another anxiety thing. And he did have, I would say the first few days he had a hard time because it was so big and he was like, it was such a big thing and he was very, not because he didn't like it, but it was just very like scary. It was scary to him. But after like the first week, he loves it, and now he just loves it so much. On days when he doesn't get to go on the bus, he has a tantrum. So, so he sucks his thumb, and on the way home on the bus, he always sucks his thumb because he's tired and he's had a big day of therapy and working and stimulating and socializing. It's a lot. It's a lot. So he's tired and he's just kind of sucking his thumb, and he usually does that on the way home every day on the school bus. And we're actually in this big bullying case where I actually had to sign like paperwork, and it's actually like the superintendent, I spoke to him, and the Board of Education filed an actual written claim, and it's being, you know, it's an actual case now that's being put forth and kind of trialed, I guess you could say, against the bus company, and I guess against the bus monitor. The bus monitor was telling him to stop sucking his thumb repeatedly. I don't know how many times, but repeatedly. I would say at least more than twice. She was telling my son to stop sucking his thumb. And Chance, only being 4 years old, not being able to communicate, not being able to talk, being like, what's going on? Why is she telling me to stop? Is this a bad thing? And then he began to have this like scary, like, oh my God, am I doing something that's bad? Am I being bad? Am I doing something wrong? He began to get really upset. And so one day when I was getting him off the school bus, this all happened one afternoon, just randomly out of the blue 2 weeks ago. So that's another thing where I've just been like in such a bad mental space because I have this thing going on, and it's just another huge frustration and pain that adults are doing this to children. Like an actual bus, you know, people on the bus are doing this to children. The world, oh my goodness, guys, the world. So he was getting off the bus. I'll just kind of go over what happened. The bus door opened. I saw him getting off the bus. I was right there, as I always am. And I could tell, he wasn't crying, but I could tell his lip was quivering, and I could see his eyes welling up, and I could see in his face, he was so upset. And just so upset. And you could tell. And if you're a parent, you know that a huge crying meltdown is about to happen because they're just so upset. You can tell. And I could tell as he was getting down the steps coming off the bus that he was about to cry and cry and cry. And when he actually came off the bus then, he immediately went right behind me and began to cry hysterically. And he was just crying, and I was like, what happened? Because I had no idea what was going on. And the bus monitor told me that she told my son to stop sucking his thumb a few times. I don't know how many times, but she said a few times. And she went on to then say that, you know, she thinks that a 4-year-old should not be sucking his or her thumb, and it was her, and she just doesn't want him to get picked on, and she doesn't want him to have a hard time making friends, and I could just tell this was something that she was really against. So she took it upon herself to tell my son to stop sucking his thumb. So I was very upset. He was literally screaming nonstop for close to a half hour, even after the bus pulled away. I was crying. I was just a total mess. I could not believe that a bus company, a bus driver, a bus monitor would do this to a small child, with or without special needs, even if they weren't special needs, even if they didn't have delays. That's not a bus monitor's role. You can hear my stomach growling. I'm hungry. I called up my son's head teacher because I have a very close relationship with her. I talk to her almost every day. And I was like, this is what happened. I cannot believe it. Chance is crying and screaming. I can't believe this is actually happening. This is insane. This is crazy. I just am completely appalled that this bus monitor were taking upon herself to do this to my child, to say this to him, to make him feel like this, to get into his face, because she got into his face about it as well. I just cannot believe it. And she was like, Lauren, that's not acceptable. We have to make this a public, put this on public record and make sure this doesn't happen again. And we have to inform the superintendent. We have to inform the principal. You have to do an actual claim against the bus company. And I wasn't even expecting that. I just thought I was gonna just call up the head teacher, my son's head teacher, and just let her know what was going on, and to kind of, I wasn't expecting it to get to this level, and that's not what I initially intended or wanted or expected. It's not like I'm that mom trying to have, this big court notice or court journey. That wasn't my intention or desire or I didn't think it would get to this case or level or point. Not ever. The school is taking it very seriously. The head teacher is taking it very seriously. It was the teacher that said, no, we have to notify the bus company and do an actual written complaint against bullying. That was their exact words, not mine. I never said bullying at all. They said bullying, and that we have to report it, and that we have to make noise about this, and that we have to make sure it doesn't happen again. We have to, notify the superintendent. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was just thinking I was just talking to the head teacher, and we would just, make sure this didn't happen again. I didn't think it would get to this point. I didn't think the school would react like this. But they full on completely came behind me and supported me and said, no, the bus monitor should have not done that to your child. That's a form of intimidation. And they really are taking this very seriously. The next day, I got a phone call from the superintendent, the actual superintendent in my district, and said, we need to make a file about this. Tell me your side of the story. We need to notify the bus company and make sure that they train and let their drivers and bus monitors know that they can't talk to children like this, especially children who do have special needs, who can't speak up for themselves. They have to know that, because I think in their mind, they want to make sure that nothing like this happens again, or nothing like this happens that could be even worse than this. And they're the ones that are really taking it to the next mile. I just called up the head teacher and told them what was happening and how upset I was. And she was the one who said, no, that's not right. We have to make sure this doesn't happen again. We have to notify the school board. We have to put this on public record. So that's also been going on. So I don't even know what's happening with the bus monitor. This past week we've had a new bus monitor on Ryder's bus, on Chance's bus. So I don't know if she just got switched with somebody else. I have no idea. When I did call up, because they did say that I have to call up the bus company, so I did actually call up the bus company and let them know what happened, and they said too that should have not happened, that was wrong, that wasn't their place. Their job is to just make sure that children get, from school to the house safely, and that nothing happens to them physically, and that they're safe. It's not their job to do any kind of parental, to be a kind of parents in any way, or to tell them to stop doing something when it's perfectly harmless, and to not kind of get into a child's space like that. That's not right. So they said that's not right, and that they would talk to the bus monitor and they would talk to the bus driver, and that they would try to switch the bus monitor with somebody else. So I don't know what happened to her right now. I don't know if she is coming back. I have no idea. I'll notify you guys and keep you guys updated with any situations that's going on with that. But that's also been something that's been kind of circulating and going on here. So, yeah. But oh my goodness, that is a day I will never forget, because he was just crying and screaming so much for a good 20 minutes. No, more than 20 minutes. And what really broke my heart, what really got to me, was that even the next day, because Chance, my son, remembers everything. He even said, "Mommy, Mommy," and then he signed, you know, sucking thumb, and he said, "Nani, Nani," like, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And then he said, and then he just told me, he signed to me, and he used his tablet saying, like, "I won't suck my thumb," because, you know, in his own way, he was saying that if I suck my thumb, I'm being naughty. The bus driver thinks I'm being naughty for sucking my thumb. And that the bus monitor was thinking that he was being naughty for doing that. And that's what he was telling me. And that's what really just made me even more upset and just angry, that the bus monitor made him feel like that he was doing something wrong, and that he was being naughty and being bad for doing that. And that's how she made him feel. And that's what really stayed with him. So that just really just felt like a knife going into my heart, and I was just so upset that this happened. So, yeah. And again, I never expected the school to take it to this level, not ever. I wasn't pushing this. I didn't put any words in their mouth. I didn't try to say, yes, we need to take this to the superintendent. I didn't do any of that. They did it. He reached out to me. So, and again, I'll keep you guys updated. But please, no mean comments about, oh, like, how could you, like, thumb sucking at 4 years old? You should stop that. It's like, please don't come at me in the comments like that. You know, I talk to my son's doctor, pediatrician, regularly, so we are totally, we're good. We're good with this. I just know that so many people have strong opinions of that, and I just, you know, please respect how we parent our children, and that we are okay with this, and that's fine with us. And if you feel differently, I support you, but I won't come at you and be like, oh my God, you know, so on and so on and so on. I won't come after you like that. So please don't come after me with that. So I just get very heated up when people try to tell me how to parent my children, and tell me that you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. Oh my God, you shouldn't be doing that. That just really like boils my blood to the nth degree. It's just like, you parent the way you want to, and I'll parent the way I want to, and I support you, and I respect that, or not even support, but I respect the way you parent, and I'll back off, and you respect me, and you back off. And like let's just respect, and just know that we are the parents and nobody else. And I feel like that just doesn't happen in this world. It just makes me so angry and upset when people tell me, like, you should really stop doing that, and oh my God, and like, I didn't start potty training my child until he was 4 years old, and I got so many like weird looks about that. It's like, your child is 4 and still in diapers? Oh my God! Ah! Like, seriously, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, oh my God, imagine if he was 5 and still in diapers, people. Oh my Lord, then the comments would really be insane. Jeez Louise, people. Oh God, it just bothers me how, like, especially moms, how we don't, because motherhood is such a hard thing to do. Why can't we just unite and come together and just support each other? Like, why do we pick at each other? Why do we try to take each other down? Why do we try to go like this with one another? I just like, I don't get it. 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 That's my rant. Oh my goodness. So that's my life update video, guys. 1 hour and 44 minutes. Crazy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I just wanted to, why am I like cut off here? That's my video, you guys. That's what's been going on. That's where I've been. That's what's been going on. That's how I feel. That's what I wanted to share. That's what's been going on. And yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so in terms of channel updates, this channel, is that the bus already? Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so sorry. All right, guys, my son is here, so very, very quickly. Oh my goodness, I totally lost. This is what happens when I make videos. I like lose track of time. He normally doesn't get off the bus until a little bit later, but they had a couple of kids absent today, so he was one of the first ones. Usually he's one of the last ones. So very quickly. Okay, so channel update. I am doing unboxings. Disney is still a huge passion of mine. I want to share that with you guys. Same with Harry Potter. I want to do more DVC videos because we are DVC members, so I really want to do videos of that. Jen LaForge is somebody who I would love to watch on YouTube, and she makes a ton of DVC videos, and I love those so much. So I've never made DVC videos yet, but that's something that I kind of want to jump into. And more motherhood videos, more lifestyle videos, I still want to continue to do Disney videos. That's going to be the huge chunk of my channel because that is such a huge love and passion of mine. So lots of unboxings, and just showing you my collection and just having a lot of fun live streams on Instagram that I want to do with my incredible and beautiful friends who I love so much, who are incredible. So I really want to do that as well on Instagram and have you guys hang out with us. That'll be amazing. I can't say that I will have a video once a week always going forward. I'm not going to do that. That's just something that I need to realize, because there's some weeks, you know, like for Thanksgiving, we travel to see my parents, so we're gone for a good week and a half. There could be a week where I'm sick, or my son is sick, or Ryder is sick, or my husband is sick and he's home. There could be a week where it's just complete chaos because we have stuff going on with the family or just with anything, with life. So I can't actually say once a week I'm gonna definitely have a video out. That's just not me, and I'm really happy with that. And before I felt kind of guilty about that, and like I wasn't a real like YouTuber, to have like an actual set schedule. I felt like I just wasn't like a real YouTuber, and like what the heck? Like if you're on YouTube, you have to have it, you know, always like once a week or twice a week, always. You have to have a routine and a schedule, and if you don't, then you're not a real YouTuber. That's complete BS. Like that's not true at all, and I'm comfortable with that now, and I'm okay with that, and I know that, and I have that kind of self-love and confidence now to believe in that and to know that, because all you really need to do to be on YouTube is to just share your stories and to share how you feel and share your passions and to talk about it, and that's a beautiful thing. And you're not a real YouTuber if you, it's not like you're not a real YouTuber if you don't have a set schedule, you know? But for a while I felt like guilty about that, and that I wasn't, like that I was just like dumb and stupid, and who would ever want to watch my channel if I don't, you know, if I'm not really, you know, professional or have like all this fancy stuff. And you know, that's another reason why I took a break, because I felt like if I don't have like a set schedule, if like I don't really know what days I can upload or film, then who's gonna want to watch me, or what am I even doing in this space? So I will upload when I can, but it's definitely going to be on a more regular basis. I mean, there might be weeks where I can maybe do a video twice a week, or even 3 times, you know. There might be maybe 2 weeks where I might not be able to film, but it won't lag on to it to the extent where it'll go on for like 2 months where I won't be uploading. That's not going to happen. I mean, I'm talking maybe there might be a space, maybe 2 to 3 weeks tops, but it won't go on to be like 2 months like this time. So definitely not to that extent, but it's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited. I do have tattoos. That's another huge passion of mine. I am planning on getting some more tattoos next year, forevers. I do want to get my first Disney tattoo, so I would love to talk about that and to share like in that huge love of mine, because I love tattoos and I love artwork and photography and anything like that. So yeah, and I'm just really excited. I'm like, I think making this video and kind of coming back and just being more having like self-realizations of what makes me happy and where I need to be, and just to give myself time and to not beat myself up, and to just have more hope and faith that everything will be okay. Because so many times, you know, if you suffer from anxiety or depression or stress, you have battles with that. You feel like things won't be okay and that life can crumble like that. But I'm kind of getting to a healthier state and more of a peace state, and just gaining more confidence back. I think losing Evers really shook me in many ways, mentally and physically. And, you know, I also think just hormonally, you know, I feel like that's something that we don't really talk about a lot. Like when women give birth full term, we kind of respect and understand and are aware that, you know, hormonally their bodies take a full year to get back, like mentally, physically, hormonally. And I spoke to my OB and I looked it up and just talking to other moms, and I feel like women who, you know, have stillbirths or, you know, who lose their babies, you know, while being pregnant, we're not given that same due. We're not given that same realization or that actual, I guess, like thought process that, you know, even though we didn't give birth to a baby full term, you know, we were still pregnant. We still had a baby inside of us, and our hormones were just as much. So, okay, but stay tuned. I love you guys so much, and more videos to come soon, I promise. I love you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Love you guys.